up guys, it's Kyra and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm excited to bring you guys my makeup kit for beginners video. You guys don't know how many times I've been asked to do this doggone video. I've gotten a ton of requests to basically share with you guys what I would consider to be my must-haves for a beginner. The things that I feel like you need to complete a full face. Now, some of the steps are optional, and in my opinion, again, these are things that I think you need to do a full face, so you won't see a lot of extra stuff like, you know, cream contour, you know, some full lashes, stuff like that. In my opinion, this is just what you need to basically do this, honestly. I'll just go ahead and jump right in. And the one thing that I do love about, you know, what I'm going to show you guys today is the fact that about 95% of what I'm going to show you guys is all drugstore. You guys know I am a sucker for drugstore. I just feel like there are so many things that you can get away with using drugstore brands because drugstore brands have really stepped it up. And so today I'll show you guys, you know, what you can use as drugstore and also what I believe is worth splurging on as well. So I want to do it in order that I typically do my face. So I'll start with my brows first and then work my way on to the rest of the face. So first up for brows, you guys know the first thing you need to complete a full face is going to be your brow pencil. Now, for me, this is where a drugstore comes in handy because I just feel like a drugstore pencil, a good drugstore pencil is all you need. That is the CoverGirl Micro Brow Pencil. I don't know what it is about this pencil, you guys, but it is my favorite brow pencil at the moment. I've actually went and bought 2 of these with my own money just because I love it that much. Now, I have been using the shade Honey Brown. If you haven't seen my brows do's and don'ts video, I'll go ahead and link it down below. Basically, I explain why I picked the shade. It is the perfect lighter brown shade, so if you're somewhere with my complexion, this shade would be good. They also have a soft brown, a dark brown, I believe. There's a bunch of shades, so you're sure to find one that fits your complexion and your hair color. Alright, and then after I fill in my brows, I always go to clean up my brows with concealer. I'm sure there is a good drugstore one out there, but you guys know my holy grail go-to all the time is going to be my MAC Studio Finish Concealer. In my opinion, I prefer more of a cream concealer for under the brows as opposed to a more liquid or a thicker, more gel consistency concealer, just because to me a cream is much easier to work with and also a lot easier to blend out, and this product just does such an easy job of doing just that. Okay, so that takes care of brows. Next up is going to be our eyes. You guys know I typically do eyes before, normally I'll do eyes before foundation. You definitely want to have a good eyeshadow primer. Now, I always talk about a good base or a good primer because the primer is going to be what helps to keep your shadow intact all day. It just doesn't hold up as long as it would if you use a shadow primer. And so for me, definitely a must-have for a beginner kit is going to be a good shadow primer. The couple other drugstore brands, I typically just kind of stick with my holy grail, which is the MAC Lay Low Paint Pot. I just love this one because just like with the Studio Finish Concealer, this is actually a little bit more of a creamy consistency. And so in my opinion, this applies and blends out super easy. So in my opinion, finding a good primer or base makes a huge difference. 2 other good ones that I know about and that I've used before and that I recommend is going to be the Urban Decay Shadow Primer. This one is a good one as well, and it blends out really well. So it's a lot thinner in consistency, and this one is definitely translucent, so it's great for all skin types. And then I also love the Put a Lid on It primer by The Balm. This one's very similar to the Urban Decay. Again, not a very thick, creamy primer. In my opinion, a good primer is worth splurging on. Alrighty, and then after primer, you want to go ahead and do your shadow. In my opinion, shadow is also one of those things that you want to go ahead and not really, you can get away with cheaper palettes, but I honestly just had to stay away from drugstore palettes. I'm sure there's probably good ones out there somewhere. I just never have good luck, and I prefer to go for palettes as opposed to individual shadows just because palettes are really good, you know, travel-friendly products. They're, you know, they're good for variety. They're just a good thing to have because if you want to do multiple looks, all you need is one really good palette. So as far as cheaper palettes go, I love the ColourPop palettes. This one here is the Cute AF palette, and this one here is the ColourPop I Think I Love You palette. This one here is a really gorgeous neutral palette. It's a nice mix of mattes and shimmers. And as you can see, it's really good on those bronze and copper and champagne tones. So I love this one. This one's also a really good neutral one as well. This one focuses, as you can see, more on those red, orange, and berry tones, but just a good variety palette to have. You may or may not want to do lashes if you're a beginner. In my opinion, I find that more beginners stick without lashes, just do some mascara and no lashes, which I completely understand. It took me a while to actually get into playing with lashes, but if you're gonna be spontaneous and try out some lashes, lashes are honestly really inexpensive. You can find some really good ones that don't cost, you know, a ton. Just go to Walmart, Target, the beauty supply store, and find some good cheap lashes and call it a day. Okay, so the ones that I recommend, here are two brands that I have really been loving lately, and they're like under $5. So this is the Iconic Collection by I Envy, and I get these from my local beauty supply store. I believe my beauty supply store sold them for, I believe, $3 or $4. It was really expensive, and I love this style, Iconic 02. As you can see, they're definitely a flirty, more wispy styled lash. I like them because they're not heavy, they're not too full, they're not too long, they're just not too dramatic, but they do just enough to make your eyes pop, and I love these. If you want something more natural, then you guys, I recently found these lashes and I am hooked, okay? I'm actually wearing them today, and they're the Kiss Blowout Lash in the style Page Boy, and they remind me a lot of just a natural wispy, like they're honestly really similar to like the Ardell wispy lashes. This came in a pack of 5 for, I believe it was like $8 and some change from Walmart. So that comes up to less than $2 per lash, which is a good deal. And I love that they're 5 in a pack and they're re-wearable. Like if you know what you're doing and you know how to not get glue everywhere, you can honestly re-wear these multiple times until you want to pick up a new pair. I'd say these two, or like there's other brands and styles at, again, Walmart, Target, even the drugstore section in Ulta. You can find almost anything. And then of course with lashes, you have to have lash glue. That would definitely be a must in my beginner kit. So I have been loving the Duo Brush On Adhesive. This is in the shade Clear. Excuse the top, it's been through some things, but I love this one. This one I can count on to apply my lashes. What I do is you just basically brush it onto your lash, let it sit for a few minutes, not 30 seconds. When I start doing makeup, people would say like, oh, wait 30 seconds. No, wait like a good 2-3 minutes. Let the lash get really tacky and then pop it onto your lash band. Easy peasy. Okay, and so last but not least on the eyes is going to be your mascara. So if you don't do lashes, you'll just jump straight to mascara. If you do lashes, you'll apply your mascara either before or after your lashes, depending on, your personal preference. My current favorite drugstore mascara is going to be the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. I honestly rotate mascaras. Like I'll just have a mascara for the week that I always reach for, and then next week it'll be something different. I just love collecting mascaras. And all my mascaras that I typically reach for are all drugstore. I love the Voluminous Lash Paradise. I love the CoverGirl Lash Blast. I love the CoverGirl Supersizer. I love the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. I just love them all. And I just feel like mascara is one of those things that, like, in my opinion, most of them do the same thing. So there's no point in really, at least to me, there's no point in splurging on mascara. So a good drugstore one is all you need, and I love the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. Okay, so after you finish the eyes, you want to go ahead and jump onto the face, and the face, in my opinion, is where you want to, take your time and, figure out what you do and don't want to splurge on. In my opinion, the number one thing you definitely want to splurge on when it comes to the face is your primer. This is so important. People don't realize how important the primer is, because the primer sets the tone for your entire makeup look, okay? So for me, I have oily skin, and this is why the primer is super important, because since I do have oily skin, I want a primer that's going to help to control my oil. So I love, you guys know I love the Becca Evermatte primer. Now this primer is If not the best, it's one of the best primers to help control your oil. So if I didn't use a primer, essentially what would happen is that I would just get really oil really quickly. And of course, oil starts to peep through, it starts to break up your foundation, it starts to look real oily and greasy, and it just looks a mess. So a good primer is definitely a must-have. And then of course, after primer, you want a good foundation. This is where you can kind of go either drugstore or high-end. Now, I rotate between drugstore and high-end only because I just have a million foundations and I like to just, you know, try different things. And it also depends on what I'm going for on that day. Do I want full coverage? Do I want, you know, more longevity? Do I want something really matte? Do I want something more dewy? It just depends on what I want for that day. So my two favorite drugstore foundations are these two right here. It's the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation and the Maybelline 24 Hour Super Stay Foundation. Now, both of these are great for oily skin. They're definitely full coverage. This one's actually really super duty high coverage. This one claims to be a 24-hour wear, which in my opinion makes sense because this one is actually a lot more matte than this one. This one claims to be matte, but in my opinion it's semi-matte. This one here is super flat, super matte. So again, it just depends on the look that you're going for, but I love both of these for different reasons. Now, my absolute favorite high-end foundation is going to be the Lancome Tint Idol Foundation. I'm in the shade 460 Suede. Oh, and for the other foundations, in the CoverGirl, I'm T80, and in the Maybelline, I am Toffee Caramel. Now, this one here is my favorite just because of how it looks. Okay, so this one here is full coverage, but it's not matte, it's semi. It's actually more, it's like, to me, it's like in between semi-matte and dewy. It's like right in the middle. But it wears so well. I don't know like what they do. I mean, that's probably why it's so expensive. But this foundation, although it's not matte, it still wears well for a long time. And it does a great job of actually keeping my oil intact. So it's like I don't get oily even though this isn't a mattifying foundation. It's amazing. It looks like skin, like butter. It just looks so amazing. And it's like, I reach for this on my fancy days. And then after foundation is going to be a concealer. I'm going to show you guys one today. That is going to be my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in the shade Golden. You guys know I have raved about this nonstop. I absolutely love it. It's just a great concealer for the price. I believe it's maybe like $6, somewhere around there. I know it's less than $10, but it's really good. It's full coverage, blends out amazingly, and it just looks good. And they have such a good shade range for the concealer. Because the shade range is so great, you can honestly find the perfect shade for your skin tone, and it also gives the perfect amount of brightness. I used it today and I just love it. Alrighty, so after you've applied your concealer, you want to go ahead and set that concealer with a setting powder. I have been loving two that I have right here, and these are definitely on the affordable side. I have been loving recently the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the shade Medium Deep. It just looks so good and natural, and it gives you just the right amount of brightness without overdoing it. So that's a good one that I recommend for your beginner makeup kit. I also love the RCMA No Color Powder. It's in a little travel, I had to dump it into a smaller travel compact container just because the jar is humongous and it's just not travel friendly. So I actually dumped it into a smaller little dollar container. But I love this one just because this one is completely translucent, so it has no color at all. The Medium Deep does, so just be cognizant of what shade you choose. But the RCMA powder has no color whatsoever, so you can use it on any skin tone. And also you get a lot for your money. I believe a 3-ounce jar is like $12, something like that. It's like super cheap. So I love both of those. They're definitely a really great price. And again, they're just good setting powders, especially for us brown girls. So you want to use setting powder for your highlighted areas, you know, wherever you apply your concealer. And then you want to set the rest of your face with a skin colored face powder, okay? My favorite drugstore one that I use all the time is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Powder. I'm in the shade Classic Tan, and I love this one. It doesn't make me cakey. It controls oil pretty well. It's a really good drugstore one, and it also provides great coverage. So I love this one. For higher end, I love my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC45. I love this one to set. Again, if I do use foundation that may not have as full of a coverage, or if I just want my skin to breathe that day and I may not want to apply as much foundation, then I'll just set it with a fuller coverage foundation like this one, and it'll be good to go. Now, you guys know we have gone over this before that I do not really contour. I just typically just bronze with just one shade. I don't do the dual bronzer and contour. So for me, my two favorite bronzers are going to be, first, Drugstore is going to be the Black Radiance Pressed Powder in the shade Cafe. I love this one. I believe the powder is like $3 or $4. You can find it at, you know, Walmart, Target, at H-E-B, Kroger, wherever. This is really, really, really good. Honestly, in general, you can use it to set your entire face. You can use it to bronze up the skin. You can use it for whatever. It's just a good, super cheap option for bronzer. I also love the MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NW48. So just to compare, so NC45, and then here's my NW48. So see the difference? See, obviously there are two different colors. This one's much, much warmer and darker, and this one creates the most perfect natural warmth to my skin. It just defines my skin so perfectly. Use it today. You guys see? It's like, it's just natural enough to give your skin some dimension without going overboard. And I just love, love, love the tone of this one here. So a good bronzer is definitely a must as well. So after you've gone ahead and applied your concealer, set your highlight, you know, set your face and applied your bronzer, you want to also go in and apply a little bit of glow to the skin. You guys know my favorite hider right now is going to be the Maybelline Master Chrome hider. I love this one. It's Drugstore. It's cheap. I believe it's like $10. It's really, really affordable. And this is basically what's going to help to add some of that luminosity or that glow to your skin. Like right here. Basically, this does that. I don't go too crazy with blush at all. I just feel like blush, in my opinion, I use it very, very, very lightly. And I use blush more so to help bring back some color to my cheekbone area. That little hint of pink right there is just blush, and it's just very, very, very little. So I love the Milani Cruel Co blush. It's this one here. I believe it's less than $10. But it's really affordable, really easy to get anywhere. And it's my opinion, I just love more coral tone blushes or like more orange tone blushes just because of my skin tone. I feel like it looks really nice. It's just my personal preference. So I love, love, love this one, and just find one that works for you and your skin tone. Okay, so I have two more items that I want to mention for your, you know, makeup beginner's kit. First up is going to be the lips. So of course, after you've gone ahead and done your entire look, you want to go ahead and add something to the lips, right? In my opinion, when it comes to a beginner's kit, right, I think that just starting off, you just need a nude and a bold color. So like a nude and a red, or a nude and a deep berry shade. Just something two completely different ends of the spectrum to just kind of help change your look up. So that's all personal preference. I feel like I can't really tell you like what shades to get, because I feel like, you know, like everyone has their own preferences as far as lip colors go. I can tell you brands though that I do recommend. You guys know I love, love, love my MAC lip liner. Okay, Cork and Chestnut. I've said it before. I feel like Cork and Chestnut is literally all you need to like make a good bomb lip. And it doesn't matter what color lipstick that you wear. I feel like Cork and Chestnut lip liner by MAC could go with anything. If you don't have the money to spend on Cork or Chestnut, I think CoverGirl has really good lip liners. This is part of their CoverGirl Exhibitionist lip liner collection. This one here is a really good nude natural shade. It is the color Caramel Nude. Just a really, really soft natural one to have in your collection. Here's the color there. So very, very soft and natural. Their liners are very, very pigmented, very smooth and creamy, and they last quite a while. And then same thing with the lipsticks. I feel like you just need a good nude and a good bold lipstick as well. So here are two, for example, that I really like. This is the CoverGirl Melting Pout Matte Lipstick in the shade Ballerina. It's a really pretty soft pink. They have a huge range of liquid lipsticks. They have more of a brown tone nude. They have gray tone nudes. They have peach tone nudes. They have a huge range of nudes as well. And then same thing with their bolder colors. They also have a huge range of bold colors in this particular brand here, but they also have their CoverGirl Queen Collection Major Shade collection as well. So the Major Shade, the CoverGirl Queen Collection Major Shade line is geared actually more towards women of color. So this is also great for my sisters, you know, if you want a good Drugstore liquid lipstick. These are great as well. And I also want a special mention just having a good gloss as well. You guys know I'm not the biggest gloss girl, but lately I have been, as you can see today. I don't know what it is, but I have been the hugest gloss girl. And one of my favorites has been the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine Gloss in the shade Midnight Cowgirl. It is absolutely beautiful. It's the perfect nude because it's nude, not too pale at all, and it has just a perfect hint of golden specks in it. It's so pretty, guys. You can just do a clear gloss. Like, I love the Maybelline Shine Shot Lip Gloss, the clear one. It's amazing. Drugstore glosses, gloss is gloss. So that's, again, personal preference. But again, a good nude or brown lip liner, a good bold, you know, purple or red liner, a good nude and bold lipstick, and a good gloss, and you're good to go on the lips. Alrighty, and then last up to complete your entire face of makeup is going to be a good setting spray. This is where you do not want to skimp on, in my opinion. I prefer higher end setting sprays just because higher end setting sprays do what they're supposed to do. I love these two here. This is the MAC Fix Plus. You guys know, I won't even go into it, but you guys know how much I love MAC Fix Plus. This one's really good for getting rid of that cakey look. So if you do use a lot of powders, you want to use this to help set everything and break everything down. Because what'll happen is, if you use a bunch of powders, it'll look like you use a bunch of powders. Like, it'll look super cakey and powdery, and you do not want that. So this really helps to settle it into the skin and make it look more skin-like, okay? So that's the Fix Plus. And then I also love the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. This one is good for making your makeup last all day. So oftentimes I'll combine both of these and I'll actually spray them both because, in my opinion, they do two different things. This one's more for giving me that natural appearance. This one here is more so for longevity. So you guys, that is it for my makeup beginners kit video, or what I believe to be the makeup must-haves for a makeup beginner. Hope you guys enjoyed all of my products and also my recommendations. I feel like that's what I get asked about a lot, so I hope that it helped you guys, get started on your makeup journey and figuring out, okay, what should I get? What do I need? And also, I feel like it's also really good because it's like, now that you know what to start with, now you can better easily follow my tutorials, because now that you have all the products, you can easily jump into the tutorial and, you know, figure out how to actually apply it, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like coming full circle, you know? So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.